The chat is really important. This is where you can share your information. I've just posted something in there about myself and stuff that's coming up. The other important piece about the chat is the bottom right-hand corner. You see a smiley face, the three dots. Clicking the three dots, you can hit Save Chat, and then right above it will pop up a little thing that says Show in Folder. So if you want to know where it is, that's where it will take you. Bottom left corner, you'll see that microphone. And if you click on top of it, you'll mute, which is great. Mostly everybody's been muted on the way in. The important part is if you have a lot of background noises, whether they're small people, big people, pets, you have a parrot, a macaw that's expressing itself, go to mute. Save that sound bite for later on. And with that said, over to Margaret Ann.
Perfect. Thanks, Bernie. Okay, as mentioned, I think that I've got the right link in there. That is our Connect Ottawa LinkedIn page. So I invite you to follow and join it there. And you'll be able to see Willie's live there as well. So go comment and share. And actually, when you're sharing a post, share a bit about your business as well. Like, great being there, and my business is this or something on the post, and just get some interaction going. So Connect Ottawa, you're going to be seeing some new things happening in August. You've heard us chatting about, we have an online e-learning center coming. So we are looking at the surveys, and we know that there's people that are interested in putting things up in our new e-learning academy. So we will be in touch. If you're looking for a way, if you're going, gee, I never thought of doing an online course, or I don't know where to host it, this might be a great opportunity for you to lock arms with a community that you get to know, like, and trust, because we believe that together everyone achieves more. And not only that, we have a blog coming up that also will help with your keyword search engine optimization. So we're going to be offering keywords up to our VIP members. They'll each get to pick one, and for a low fee to have that. So what this means is every time somebody clicks or looks at that link, it's going to take them directly to you. So on that note, the first people that are in on that opportunity will have a little bit of leeway. So what is your keyword? Now, if you're watching one of these shows a few weeks ago, you might have been actually given some thought about that. So if you've done your homework, what is that keyword that when they hit that, you want them to think of only you? So right now we're going to go around the room, and we're going to have everybody introduce themselves. Again, put your stuff in the chat so people can connect later. And we are going to start with the smiley Sandy there. Sandy Stolier.
Hey, well, that was quick. Was hoping for an example first, but yay. I'm so glad I'm here. I guess would be where my elevator pitch.
Yes, I'm sorry. Yeah, share where you're from, who you are, and one thing you're looking for. We're giving everybody about 30 seconds, okay? Take it away.
Okay. Sandy Stolier. I'm in Ottawa, Canada. What I'm looking for is to help build a community, and of course, help support other people in business, and of course, grow my own business. But networking and finding community and making contact is where I need to begin. And I'm so glad to be here. Thank you so much for hosting.
Thrilled to have you here, Sandy. We should chat. Hey.
I'd love to.
Okay. And Abby.
Hey, good afternoon, everyone. My name is Abhi. I am the founder of Nutrition Blogs in Ottawa. We are a small nonprofit, fairly new, and we design and develop food security programs, and a lot of our programs in collaborations with existing partners in the sector. So yeah, and I'm going to put my LinkedIn profile link here in the chat. So love to hear from you guys.
Perfect. Thanks a lot, Abby. And William.
Afternoon, everybody. Bill Kellner. Live in the United States, North Carolina, the greater Charlotte area on Lake Norman. And really pleased to always be able to be a part of this engaging and exciting group. So appreciate you being here. My organization is Optimized Talent Strategies. Thanks.
Thanks, Bill. Nice to have you again. And Lynn.
Hi, I'm Lynn Tranchel. I live in Buffalo, New York. I'm a success coach. I believe that we are all born to be rich, abundant, and successful. And I help entrepreneurs solve problems to be more profitable. Whether it's feeling like you have to do it all, or you work too many Saturdays and don't see the income, not taking the right action, or you're accepting a slow season as inevitable. What I would like you to do is just connect with me on LinkedIn. Every Wednesday morning, I do a LinkedIn Live. This month is all about the Summer of Success. I'll put that in the chat. You can connect with me and watch my lives. Thank you.
Perfect. Thanks, Lynn. Love it. Summer of Success. And how about Chris Sissons?
Yes, hello there. I'm Chris Sissons. I come from Sheffield in England. It is officially hotter than anywhere else in the world today. They're the same, mad dogs and Englishmen go out in the midday sun, but I don't have a dog, so I haven't. I think it would be pushing it a bit to say that it's enjoyable. Anyway, my business is called Market Together. I'm a local marketing coach and I specialize in storytelling. And you can find 24 podcasts on my website, which will appear in the link in the chat in a moment. All of them practitioners of various descriptions who tell stories. The last one is a brilliant story from childhood based in Skegness, which is a seaside resort to the east of Sheffield. I very definitely recommend that. And I also recommend the next one because it will feature Willie Nicol.
Okay.
So that's me, Chris Sissons, Market Together.
Great. Nice to have you here, Chris. And how about Anna?
Anna is sitting in sunny Scotland that could, at the moment, be placed in somewhere in Spain, but it's not. It's north, and we are absolutely melting up here, 31 degrees, so it's very hot. Anyway, I am enjoying it, as you can see. I like to be outside. Anyway, I can also make an announcement today. It's now been official. My business, acquisition business, is now being registered and open to receiving recommendations of companies wishing to sell. So if you know any engineering manufacturing companies that is interested in selling their business for some personal reason, I don't need the reason from you, but I will have a conversation with them. Then please put them in my direction and I will have a talk with them. That's me. I would love to connect with everyone, and I'm putting my contact details in the chat so you can connect with me on LinkedIn.
Perfect.
Great to see you.
Thanks, Anna, and congratulations on that milestone.
Thank you.
That's great. And Alan Roberts.
Hello, I'm Alan. I'm also melting with everybody else in the UK. I've just checked the temperature in my room. It's approaching 100. I don't know what that is in Celsius, but I'm a mindset coach.
Okay, well, these people over there are used to this heat right now. Of course, I'm sitting in air, so what am I talking about? But the back depth's probably about 38 to 40 degrees right now. But good luck, Alan. Okay, so you guess what, Tanya? Can you introduce yourself? And Tanya, just a little heads up, is one of our VIP members. So welcome and glad you're feeling better, Tanya.
Well, thank you, Margaret Ann. Hi, everybody. My name is Tanya Hewitt, and I'd like to extend my sympathies to anybody who is suffering through the effects of climate change. But then again, I think that is everybody. So we all have to realize that we all are now experiencing the results of a lot of the living that a lot of the Western world has done, and we need to start changing our ways. And Beyond Safety Compliance is trying to help businesses get into a healthier area so that we don't keep perpetuating the same kind of habits that have gotten us into the situation we're in.
Thank you, Tanya. And hey, Bobby the Coffee Guy, another VIP member. Welcome.
Bobby the Coffee Guy, that says it all. I have my own brand of coffee, and even when it's 30 degrees and more, people still drink coffee. So don't be shy. You can go to my website, bobbythecoffeeguy.ca, and just enjoy.
Great. And you know what, Bobby? I think that's true. I think you're supposed to drink warm stuff when it's really hot. Keeps your body more regulated. And Medhav, are you there, Medhav? Okay. And Bernie.
Well, hello, folks. Bernie Francisco, Creative Insight. I do B2B connections, people connections. My contact details are there. I work with projects, people starting stuff up or launching new products, and they want to get a further reach. And I'll stop there and over to you, Margaret Ann.
Perfect. Well, again, I'm with Connect Ottawa. I also am partner with Unified Remote Work, and we have tools and technologies to help business people. So anything we're looking for, the vision, and we will make that our reality. And it starts with a conversation. So literally is that we all need to know where we're headed. So we're not just throwing it up and hoping for the best. So with a clear vision, I can help you get to where you want to be. On that note, Bernie, I'm going to pass it over to you to take it away and introduce our dynamic speaker, Willie.
Folks, Mr. Willie Nicol. He has a Bachelor of Law degree from the University of Glasgow, Scotland. He's been a police officer for 31 years, 7 years later of corporate security management. And then he exited that space and he decided to draw on his wide lived experience and numerous acquired skills to set up his own coaching business. And it's called Contentment Life Coaching. And it's a personal development and transformational coaching work that he's doing. He's a certified life coach, hypnotherapist, practitioner of neuro-linguistic programming. Willie works with clients to help them find their own solutions to stress, anxiety, anger, low confidence, or whatever else is blocking their development or stopping them from achieving the results in life that they really want. And today, Willie's going to be talking about mindset. Willie, over to you, sir.
Thank you, Barry. Thank you, Margaret Ann, for the opportunity to talk tonight. It's tonight where I am. I know it's afternoon where you are. I'm Willie Nicol, the Cockturn coach. I am based in Scotland, similar to Anna. Where I'm living near the seaside, it's actually not very warm. It's only 24 degrees. So I'm doing okay, thanks. Tonight, I like to talk to you about mindset. And I see there are a number of other coaches in the room, so there's no pressure now. Let me say from the start, this is just my one take on an explanation of something that can be quite difficult to explain. And it's more a kind of construct, more a kind of allegory that I use with my clients to try and explain how we operate in the world, how we turn up. So I'm going to be doing some PowerPoint slides. Hopefully they won't bore you to tears. I'm also known as the Techno Dinosaur, and I have a YouTube channel to prove it. And people think I'm telling a lie, but I'm not. My friend, the IT geek, a computer man, and I did 80 video blogs during lockdown to help people with various things. So I'm officially the Techno Dinosaur. This is the first time I've ever done a PowerPoint presentation on Zoom. So please cross your fingers and cross your toes for me. I'm going to share my screen shortly and we'll kick this off. I've just realized that if I ask a question, I can't see any shows of hands. I can't see any reaction because I'll be in another screen. However, if I maybe suggest put a comment in the chat box, Bernie or Margaret Ann will let me know that there's a question or whatever. There will be a facility for asking questions at the end. So if you don't want to stick your hand up or whatever during the presentation, please keep your questions to the end and I'll answer them as best I can. But bear in mind, this is my take on mindset. Can we all see that slide there?
Working perfectly.
Thank you very much. That's one I shamelessly pinched off the internet, the image there. Behaviours, actions, performance, attitude, results. I think that's fairly self-explanatory. But what do we actually think mindset is? What does it mean? Having had a thought about that, I again went on to Google and went to old friend Wikipedia. And they came up with a big explanation. But the word mind has a number of different meanings depending on the context. I don't mind. Mind how you go. Out of sight, out of mind. Yeah. Or maybe more appropriately, when we're discussing this topic, is we can do anything if we put our mind to it. Or anything is possible if we have the correct mindset. So we're getting a wee bit more towards what mindset is. However, I'm going to read this out from Wikipedia because I do like it, but I couldn't memorize it. So here we go. The mind is a set of faculties, including cognitive aspects such as consciousness, imagination, perception, thinking, intelligence, judgment, language, and memory, as well as non-cognitive aspects such as emotion and instinct. So that's all clear then, isn't it? That's a bit of a mouthful. But it does mention something I'm quite interested in, which is thinking. And that got me to do a further bit of research about how many thoughts do we have a day. Would anybody like to hazard a guess and put a comment in the chat box? Have we come up with anything? No?
30, 5,000, tens of thousands, 30, 300,000, 400 billion.
Okay, thank you very much for that. Right, so I'm going to go on to the next slide, which again is something I found during my research. Thinking. The National Science Foundation in the United States says that the average human thinks between 12,000 and 60,000 thoughts a day, which is quite a lot. How on earth did they figure that out?
Yeah.
More concerningly is that 80% of these thoughts are negative and 95% are repetitive. How they figured that out, I have no idea. But how does that help us with mindset? I would suggest perhaps not greatly. So moving on. What is mindset? So it's made up of two words, two very short words. From the wiki definition, we might consider that the word mind relates to our thinking. Typically, the word set means fixed or unchanging. So if we put the two words together, does this mean that we all have a fixed way of thinking when we consider what's happening around about us? So is it the case that our mindset is the way we always think, react, and turn up in the world? Is that what mindset is? Well, again, that's a very good question, as it were. But an even better question, I believe, is where do we get our mindset? Where does it come from? Bearing in mind it is a construct, because there's no such thing as I hold a mindset in my hand. It's a way of trying to explain how we turn up in the world, if you like. So where do we get our mindset? We grow up. I'm still growing up, believe it or not, at this advanced stage. And growing up as youngsters, we learn from our parents, our peers, our siblings, or whoever. We watch them, and because they are parents or peers, we think, well, that must be the way things are done. We're therefore heavily influenced by their attitudes, behaviours and values towards all sorts of things in life. And we kind of absorb that like a sponge. And these influences start to shape the way we see the world, and they start to kind of set in our mind our thinking. We then build in that developing mindset because we have experiences of our own and our interactions with others as we gradually progress through life. And eventually, and this can vary from person to person, age-wise, we reach a point where we think, yeah, I've got this all figured out. I know what's going on. And now we have our own very own mindset. Great. We've worked it all out. But what does that actually mean? It's been said that mindset is the foundation of our entire experience in life. I think that was some philosopher that said that. And that mindset we've just developed will determine our thinking and behaviours in relation to what's going on round about us in life. It's how we turn up, how we react to what's going on. because we have formulated this mindset about what we do in any given situation. And I've used this analogy with clients that our mind is like a computer hard drive in which is stored all the information we've ever acquired, which enables us to make sense of and deal with whatever happens round about us. So inside us, metaphorically, we have a big hard drive containing information. And we come against a problem or an issue. We go into that hard drive and search for a solution. So far, so good. So my next question, and fire a comment in the chat box. Who's a smartphone or a laptop or a PC or perhaps all three? Just put a yes, 1, 2 or 3 in the chat box if you would.
Three, Tanya, who doesn't?
Yeah, okay, well, I don't have a laptop, but I've got a PC and a smartphone. I gave my laptop back to my former employer because I didn't like it when he made me redundant, but that's another story. So, moving swiftly on, I want to talk about our operating system. So if our mind is the hard drive with all the information in it, our mindset could be described as our own operating system, which controls how we operate, how we function. The mindset is developed to a point where it determines our operating system, who we are, what we do, and how we do it. So my wife will tell you I habitually shout while watching the soccer because that's my learned behaviour, particularly when my team aren't doing very well. But that's my mindset. So our mindset is like the operating system in our smartphones, laptops, computers, or whatever other devices we use. And I use this analogy again. We are the device, and the mindset is our system, which makes us operate in the way we do. So we're the smartphone with an operating system that makes the smartphone work. Okay. But all the devices we have with our operating systems get regular updates, upgrades, changes. And usually these are for better efficiency, better security. My iPhone will ping and say upgrade or update to iOS 15.6.9.2. And so on, because it tells me that security enhancements are better this or better that. And you just do it because, well, why would I not? Apple is telling me to update and improve my device. But do we do the same with our own operating system, our mindset? Do we? I don't think so, or very seldom. Updating our mindset, our operating system, I'd respectfully suggest that we don't. We don't bother. Or if we do it half-heartedly. What that means is, if we don't upgrade our mindset, our operating system, the way we operate or turn up in the world will stay the same as it's always done. Therefore, we'll continue to get the same results as we've always done or always had in life. I think this is a Scottish phrase, but I wouldn't lay claim to it, which sums it up rather nicely. If you do what you've always done, you'll get what you always got. I would like to say my grandmother told me that, but that wasn't the case. I pinched that from someone else. But I hope you get the drift. There's also that phrase or quote, which is usually attributed to Albert Einstein about anxiety, although there's some dubiety whether Einstein ever said it. But anyway, the definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting a different result. And I've been that soldier. I have tried to do things to make them work, and he didn't. I had to give up. And then realised I was being an idiot. So changing our mindset is one way of changing the results we get. So why don't we do it? Why do we not think about changing or updating our mindset, the way we turn up in the world? We could also use the word reset your mindset. But I'm going to stick with change because I'm not too fond of reset. But sometimes you reset your computer, you reset your operating system, but I'm going to stick with change. So changing our mindset. We usually don't do it for a variety of reasons which seem perfectly valid to us because we tell ourselves that's the case. Fear is the obvious one. We're afraid or scared of what might happen if we change how we operate or turn up in the world. And I've experienced that myself, having been a police officer for 31 years, a corporate security manager, and now as a coach. And that involved quite a lot of change, about which I was quite apprehensive, but I got over it. Another thing we tell ourselves is, we're just happy the way we are, thanks. But are we really? Deep down. Just bone idleness, laziness. We can't be bothered. Now that's not a valid reason, it's an excuse. But it seems valid to us. Can't be bothered. What will others think about me? As if that matters. That's just an element of fear. I had a good friend who couldn't understand why I wanted to become a coach. And he was actually very dismissive of it, which made me annoyed until I realised that I was changing and he wasn't. And that's the reason for his anxiety, if you like. But what if I suggest to you that it doesn't have to be this way? So what could we do to change or update our mindset? Our operating system. My operating system, the way Willie turns up in the world, the way Willie does what Willie does, how he acts, how he behaves. How can we change your mindset or anyone else's mindset? My view is we don't need to develop a particular mindset. We don't need to develop a success mindset to be successful. Some coaches will tell you, you have to have a successful mindset. You must, if you like, go into a store and buy a jar of successful mindset. Or a motivated mindset to be motivated. Or whatever. We already have a mindset. So why not just change the one we've got? That's all we need to do. Change the mindset we already have. Perhaps easier said than done, but trust me, it can be done because I've done it. If you want to change your experiences and results in a positive way, you won't do that if you don't change your mindset. There's another old phrase, nothing changes if nothing changes. That could have been my grandmother, right enough. Another thing I like considering is our mindset creates our reality, not the other way about. We create our own reality, albeit there are external influences on us. But creating our own reality is perception. If we think we're going to have a crap day, we'll have a crap day. We've created it. I won't go into the law of attraction. I'm not hugely familiar with it, but we do create our own reality. Now, I'm a personal development coach, growth, becoming a better version of who we are now. Growth and change go hand in hand. Therefore, it follows that if we want to grow or develop, we have to be prepared to change. Because if things aren't working the way we want them to work, as they are at present, not changing is not an option. Inaction is not an option. Doing something about it is the only way forward. If we come to the realization we're not growing or developing, or we're stagnant or static, perhaps you should consider ways of changing our mindset in order that we can grow and develop. But how, you'll ask? So my next question is, and put a comment in the chat box, who has heard of Pareto's 80-20 rule? Nobody?
Yep, actually everybody's saying yes, yes, yes. Yeah, you got an audience, it's all saying yes.
Good, right. So I don't need to say any more then. Okay, right. Pareto's 80-20 rule. I've adapted it slightly. Everything in life is 80% mindset and 20% strategy. 80% of our results will come from 20% of our actions. In a business context, 80% of your profits will come from 20% of your activity. So the Pareto rule is quite important, and particularly in relation to mindset. Someone much cleverer than me said, mindset is our most precious asset in life. And I would disagree with that. And remember, we've already talked about with the right mindset, we can accomplish anything. Someone other very clever person said, mindset is the ticket to achievement, success, wealth, and perhaps even happiness or contentment, however that appears to you. So what's stopping us from doing this? I would suggest nothing but ourselves. We're the blockage. We're stopping it. So how do we get to where we want to be so that we can achieve success or whatever it is we want in life? This is determined by our mindset. Our results are determined by our actions, and our actions are dictated by our mindset. How we operate, how we act, how we behave in the world. So without banging on even further, to change our results, to get what we want, we must change our mindset. And this I did find is an old proverb. When our mind is set and we refuse to see problems, and we focus only on the solutions and the opportunities available to us within any challenge, we will always find a way through, because there's always a way, and we will grow and prosper. So I would argue that mindset is everything. Success in life, mindset is everything. I want to very briefly go on to talk about how I help people who really want to change their mindset. I wonder if this might apply to you. I work with people who generally want to be a better version of who they are now. And I do that by helping them find their own solutions to whatever's holding them back in life or stopping them achieving the results they really want. In effect, I help them change their mindset. I don't change it for them. They do that with my help. So as it says here on the screen, happy to have what my website designer calls a complimentary initial consultation, which is just an informal chat really, to see how and if I can help. Please get in touch if you want to find out anything else. These are my contact details, which I will put in the chat box, along with another little blurb. Finally, I would say, have a great day, because it's a mindset thing. And finally, many thanks for listening. And if anyone has any questions, now's the time. Thank you very much.
Willie, thank you. That's awesome. Are there any questions, folks?
What a
So the basis of mindset, it's just how you're framing where you're at, right? Is it a part of the construct of us growing up? Is it biological? Is it social economics? You know, what compels mindset at the end of the day? What drives it to come together?
Well, as I said, we are heavily influenced as we're growing up as kids, right, by what's happening around about us, and particularly by our parents, perhaps older siblings, other older relatives, aunts and uncles or whatever. And we're young and impressionable. And we soak all this information in, and we start to kind of make sense of things. And we get a bit older and we go to high school and we meet fellow pupils and we kind of expand our experience. And eventually, through our interactions with others and our own experiences and all the influences we've absorbed, we get to a point where we think, yeah, okay, I've got this sorted out. I know what's going on here, right? And you develop a mindset, a way to operate, a way to turn up, right? Which is kind of inside your head, so to speak. Obviously, it's not. So in any given situation, my wife would tell me, I know how Willie will react to that because that's his mindset. Yeah. I alluded to watching the soccer. And you probably realised it yourself and you've seen it in other people. Right. Now, whether you want to call it mindset or behavioural patterns or frame of mind or whatever, you kind of know in a particular given situation how your friend will react or how your wife will react or how your partner will react or whatever, because you have learned what their mindset is or frame of mind or behavioural patterns. So it's a combination of them all, Bernie, all the external influences that have kind of landed within you. And I'm not going to go into conscious mind and unconscious mind and consciousness and so on and so forth. This is just a kind of allegory, a metaphor that I use to explain to people why you're not getting the results you want. And we tease that out because they're not operating in the correct fashion.
Yeah.
They're not turning up the right way. But I've always done it this way. And how's that work for you? Not very good. Well, what should you do? Maybe I'll have to change. No shit, Sherlock. Yeah. So that's what I help people with. I don't tell them what to do. They turn up, they ask me things, and I say, let's go and explore this together. And generally it involves a change of attitude, a change of mindset, whatever it is. The crucial word here is change. And I use the operating system with your smartphone, etc., to kind of draw an analogy. Why would you not update your electronic devices when the providers tell you to? Oh, you do. You just do it automatically. Why would you not upgrade your own operating system when the way it's operating currently is not working well for you?
So true. If it's going to be, it's up to me.
Absolutely.
I love your analogy, Willie. I thought it was really good. I like the whole fact about, the restart, the reboot, or it's good. Because you're absolutely right. We don't tend to work on that as much, and then we wonder why we get the same results, right? Because there's a little glitch in the system.
Willie, how long does it take for a mindset to shift the mindset from one state to the next one?
It's a very good
evolution
question.
of it.
But I think I saw Sandy put her hand up. Or maybe she was.
Oh, sorry, Sandy, go ahead.
I did, but I'm happy to share. I had a really similar question, and then I had a technical question as well. But I guess I've definitely changed my mindset. I watched my mom's world shrink to nothing, and I just saw her anxiety and her depression just lock her in, and now she's living in a space with ultimate care. And coming home from that, I intentionally said, Sandy, if you don't make some changes, that is where you're going. Because I too was retired. I too had chronic pain. There were too many similarities. And so I consciously went on this journey to change shit up, because looked at the patterns, saw where I was. How do you know where to go next? And is there a blueprint, I guess, is what I'm getting to.
A blueprint. Yeah, it'd be great if we had a blueprint. Some coaches might tell you there is a blueprint. My feeling is that with a bit of introspection, a bit of self-awareness, and going inside, as it were, into the hard drive, you'll find a solution. You might not know it's there, right? And I facilitate that environment where you look for it and find it. Does that make sense?
Yes.
It's
Thanks.
just like, I'll come back to your point in a minute, Bernie. About 15 years ago, I noticed that I was having trouble breathing. And I was having trouble doing my officer safety training in the police. So I went to the doctor, who told me that I had COPD. Who knew? Was I a smoker? Yes, I was a very light smoker. He said, well, you'll need to change your ways, otherwise you'll end up with emphysema. So did I stop smoking? You betcha, right? So that's an illustration of where the change was kind of imposed externally. Right?
Yeah.
But I have people come to me who want to stop smoking. Yeah, that's another avenue that I help with. But yes, sometimes change can be enforced upon you, as it was with me. And actually, I feel a lot better now for obvious reasons. But to change from, and you use the word state, which is, the other coaches in the room will understand what I'm saying here. We are in our current state, right? Not, as my wife would say, oh, you're in the right state today, meaning that I'm in a bad mood. No, we're in a current state, right? This is where we're at just now. If we want to get to a different state, we have to change. So in coaching terms, we have a current state, but we want to become whatever. And they call that a target state, right? So go from current state to target state generally involves some steps, because you don't do a Superman one giant leap from current to target. And that's where I talk to clients and we work out what these steps are. How long is a piece of string, Bernie? The one funny story I tell to other coaches is, if someone asks you right from the get-go, all right, I want to achieve this result, how long will it take and how much will it cost? And I may say, well, do you have a car? Yes, I do. What would you do if the engine started making a really loud banging noise? I'd take it to a mechanic. Yeah, you would. And you tell the mechanic the engine's making a loud banging noise. But your very next point would not be to the mechanic, how long will this take to fix, mechanic, and how much will it cost me? Because he doesn't know. So how long will it take to change one state to another? It can be done in seconds, or it could take 6 weeks. I run a 12-week program. So it takes as long as it takes. But what I like to guarantee is it will happen. And as long as the other party is prepared to accept that and commit to it and do the work. I don't do the work. They do the work. Okay, I do a bit of work, right? That's transformation. That's change. And it all comes from thinking, mindset, and, for want of a better phrase, looking at things differently. Because as Margaret said, if it's going to be, it's up to me. I'm the person responsible for my own well-being, happiness, success, wealth, etc. And if I ain't getting these things, something has to change.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, everything's changed. It's amazing. I just don't know where to go next.
Well, don't worry.
But I don't want to hog the whole time. I'm sorry. I'll happily chat with you offline.
Don't fret about it, Sandy. Don't fret about it, because if you fret about it, you won't get to the next step, right?
And really, don't you find also one of the first steps is actually the recognizing? You know, when it comes to change, so many of us don't think it's us, right? So with any situation that happens in our life, I think that's the whatever you want to do, the meditating, the sitting down, taking it all in, to actually, you know, if something keeps happening over and over again and you don't understand why, that's the time to step back and think about it. And usually, you know, there's, what do they say? There's a finger pointing out there and three pointing back to me, right? So, you know, it's great. I love this, Willie, because I think something happens and it makes us recognize that problem, right? Like Sandy, your mom or whatever, right? It's like, oh my God. And, you know, I had similar back a few years ago as well.
The first breakthrough is recognizing it, as you say, Margaret, this is not working. Right? What am I going to do about it? You either do it yourself and see how it goes, or you seek help. A lot of people are reluctant to seek help because they see it as a sign of weakness, particularly men of my age. Right? It's not. It's a sign of clarity and actually strength of character. Okay, I've got to a point. I need help with this. Can you help me? Yes, I can. Right? But I would say to Sandy that don't focus on it, because it's almost like the more you focus on something, the further away it gets. Right? Guarantee, Sandy, it's like you can't remember the name of a song or the name of an artist, and you focus intensely on it, and then an hour later, bing, up it pops. The light bulb moment will come. You'll know. Trust me. And
Here, I thought that was age.
Happy to have a conversation with you, Sandy. I do love talking to people, as you can probably tell.
Oh, Willie, I have a question for you. Was there something when you were working, like, you were in the police force and stuff, was there something that shifted your mindset? Well, was there something pivotal that made you go, wow, okay?
There were quite a few occasions like that. I'll tell you another very short story. I'm conscious of time. I met a colleague when I was starting my business, coaching business, and I hadn't seen him for 25 years. And I'd been his training officer in the police many, many years beforehand. And we chewed the fat a bit, and he said, "What are you doing now?" He said, I said, "I'm just setting a coaching business up." And he laughed at me, which I thought was rather rude. I said, "Why are you laughing?" He said, "Well, you coached me. I watched you coaching other people. You just didn't know you were doing it." And that was the best backhanded compliment I've ever been paid. And on reflection, looking back, I just get a great buzz at helping people. It just, it fills me up, right? And now it fills me up and I get paid for it. So I wish I'd had this epiphany 40 years ago before I joined the police. But such is life.
I love it. Thank you for sharing that. And okay, so anybody else raising hands? I have another comment too, just because, like, Willie, because of who you are, a police officer and stuff. What I think is really great in 2022 that we're all able to participate in is the vast array of coaches. And usually somebody ends up in that profession because they've had an epiphany or a life-changing experience. They've done it, they get it. And, we're so damn excited to share how this helps others. So I think it's really cool because the audience is so diverse. So by doing this and just sharing this message more and more people are understanding there's this is solid. It really is about something as simple as mindset and the way you're thinking. So thank you for leading the way in that.
You're very welcome. Thanks for having me.
Oh, look at you, left them all quiet.
I think half of them are asleep actually, but anyway.
No. I'm wide awake.
I think they're all thinking about their mindset.
So, Willie, is the mindset, is it just one aspect in a certain space? So if you're an athlete, I will win versus, I got to get up, I've stubbed my toe and I got to push through it. Is that those different mindsets, same mindset? Is it?
I think there is space, if you like, for different interpretations. I used to do sport performance coaching when I could still participate. But anyway, what I said before about the Pareto, so 80% this and 20% that, I believe in sporting performance, it's actually 90% of mindset as opposed to 10% of skill. You look at some very successful businessmen, the Steve Jobs, your Richard Bransons, who weren't apparently academically gifted, but they had the mindset, I'm going to make a huge business, and they did. And another thing about mindset is failure. Sometimes we change, we try and make something better, and it doesn't work, and we think we've failed. No, failure is only feedback, as a very famous coach said. We learn from mistakes. I think it was Nelson Mandela that said something like, "I never lose. I either win or I learn." So I could say I never fail. I either succeed or I learn something. So fear is a construct. Yes, sometimes when I'm, trying to do wallpapering or DIY, I'm not very good at that. So I feel that's why I get someone in to do it. But if that's the mindset you adopt, that, you know what, I may fail technically, but I always learn something. I think it was Thomas Edison who invented the light bulb, and it took him 1,000 experiments before he got one that worked. And someone said to him, well, you failed 999 times. He said, no, I didn't. I just had 999 learning experiences, and I made it work. So you had to admire his perseverance. I don't know whether that's a real story, but it's one I've heard. So that's another element to mindset, is failure. Yeah, there's failure, but only if you choose to define it as that.
Cool. Okay, well, thank you so much, Willie. I'm looking at 1:56, so we got 4 minutes to go. Willie, I'll give you a couple minutes to think of the top 3 takeaways that you want people to take away from this call. But right now we'll move over to Bernie, and also in the chat, I'm just sharing the link for the Thursday call. So Bernie, what's happening next week in Connect Ottawa?
Well, in Connect Ottawa, we're supposed to be warmer next week. But on Tuesday, the 26th, we have Leveraging Peer Power for Professional Development and in the Modern Workplace. That's Prasad Sarapa, who's going to be, and I probably didn't say his name correctly, Prasad Sarapa. I'm going to stop there. Anyhow, he's speaking, and he's going to talk about that. 5 minutes after the hour, you're going to see an email. If you opted out for not to be communicated, but you attended this, you'll get the survey. And if you opted in for future mailings, then you will receive them. And oh yes, 3 dots in the chat. Hit the save button. That's the best way. That way you can actually save your connection with Willie, because that's the last thing he just posted in there. Over to you, Margaret.
Okay.
And Willie, thank you.
Thank you, buddy.
And on Thursday, they are talking about tools and technologies with unified remote work. Jovan is going to lead the conversation. Bertie's there as the moderator, and Stefan's going to be the person they're questioning. So Thursdays are always entertaining and actually really good for any type of business skills. I have it listed usually as scaling your business and marketing, and everything that we actually discuss is actually relevant to everyone's business. So if you're in business, it's a great event to attend, and the link is there just to join us. On that note, Willie, let's go back to you. What is the top takeaways that you'd like people to leave with today?
Okay, your mindset, the way you turn up in the world, the way you operate, the way you act, that's you. That is you, right? If you're not getting the results you want, if it's not working for you, you have to change your mindset. Change is the only way things are going to improve. And lastly, it is possible. I did it. Anyone can do it if you put your mind to it.
I love it.
Sorry, I couldn't resist that.
Good one. I love it, Willie. Thanks again for having us. Bernie, would you mind sharing how to get that the transcript from today? Sandy was asking in the chat.
So Sandy, if you actually, Sandy, you know what? Reach out to me and I will send it to you by email. I take it you're on a phone right now.
No, I'm on an iPad, but I was copying them separately. But I think you said there was a way to do them all.
Yes, you open up the chat. The 3 dots are on the right hand side. Unfortunately, I'm not working off an iPad.
Okay.
I don't know if anybody else is familiar with the Apple products and how to save a chat, but if the 3 dots are there, you click it and then it'll save it to your hard drive.
It's too
and it'll indicate where it's saving it.
Okay.
Okay.
And if you can't reach out to us, and we'll send you a copy. So thanks again. Okay. Thanks everybody again for joining us today. And again, we'll see you on Thursday or next Tuesday. Great to have you. And thanks a lot, Willie, sharing mindset. I'm going to work on that this weekend at Palmer's Rapids.
Thank you.
All right. Bye, everyone.
Bye, guys.
Bye.
Okay. Bernie.
Yeah.
We're actually, okay, live. How do I, just a second.